Have you ever found yourself wondering what truly matters in the later stages of life? As we age, we often carry invisible burdens that prevent us from fully embracing the peace, joy, and freedom we deserve. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 life-changing areas that might be holding you back from living the rich and fulfilling life that you've earned. But here's the key. These aren't just simple changes. By the end of this video, you'll understand how letting go of toxic relationships, freeing yourself from past resentments, and overcoming the fear of change can open up new possibilities for happiness. You'll also discover why balancing your responsibilities and finding harmony in your personal life is more important now than ever before. And stay with us until the very end, because the last point we'll discuss could completely change the way you approach aging, helping you unlock a deeper sense of purpose and connection in your daily life. Whether you want to rediscover joy, find peace of mind, or simply live more fully, this video will guide you on a journey towards a lighter, more meaningful existence. So, let's dive in together and uncover the secrets to living your best stage of life. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. 1. Negative relationships. Social connections are not merely an aspect of life. They are its very foundation. From the moment we are born, we begin weaving a complex tapestry of relationships, some as fleeting as a summer breeze, others as enduring as the mountains. These connections, whether friendships, family bonds, or even acquaintanceships, shape us, molding our experiences and influencing the way we see the world. As children, we learn to navigate the intricacies of human interaction, building bonds that provide comfort, joy, and belonging. But as we grow older, the nature of these relationships can shift, and the people we once leaned on may no longer offer the same solace. Instead, they may become sources of unease, emotional turmoil, or even outright harm. In the autumn of life, when every moment feels more precious than ever, it is crucial to take a step back and examine these relationships with an honest, discerning eye. We must ask ourselves, who are the people that still surround us? And more importantly, how do they impact our mental, emotional, and even physical well-being? This period of life, often marked by reflection and wisdom, offers a unique opportunity to make choices that prioritize our peace and happiness over the obligations of the past. It's a time when we must assess, with gentle but firm resolve, which relationships are helping us thrive and which are slowly draining our spirits. Toxic relationships, those insidious connections that seem to gnaw away at your happiness, are not always easy to recognize, especially when they've been part of your life for so long. These relationships, whether they're with old friends, family members, or even neighbors, might have once brought you joy or at least a sense of obligation, but now they bring nothing but emotional exhaustion. These individuals may be relentlessly critical, tearing down your self-worth with every conversation. Perhaps they're chronically pessimistic, casting shadows over even the brightest moments in your life. Or worse, they may be agents of constant conflict, embroiling you in their dramas, sucking you into their whirlwind of negativity. In these cases, their presence in your life is like a dark cloud, constantly looming over your well-being, stifling your sense of inner peace. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. For years, maybe even decades, you may have tolerated these relationships out of duty. You might have convinced yourself that walking away isn't an option, that you owe it to them to stay, to listen, to endure. But as you enter a new chapter in life, one filled with the wisdom that only time can bestow, it's time to ask yourself some pivotal questions. Do these people truly make me happy? Are they adding value to my life, or are they silently diminishing it? Am I holding on to them out of love or out of guilt and habit? If the answer to these questions reveals a pattern of harm, conflict, or emotional depletion, then it may be time to make the brave decision to distance yourself from those individuals. Toxic relationships don't just damage your emotional well-being. They can have a direct impact on your physical health too. Studies have shown that stress from unhealthy relationships can lead to a range of issues, from high blood pressure and heart disease to sleep disturbances and weakened immune function. The body and mind are deeply interconnected, and the strain of a toxic relationship can wear down both over time. As you grow older, you must come to realize that your well-being, your peace of mind, is far too valuable to sacrifice for the sake of maintaining unhealthy ties. In this stage of life, it's not about the number of people you have around you. You don't need a large circle of acquaintances or a long list of people to call on. Instead, it's about cultivating a smaller, more intentional group of individuals who bring genuine positivity, warmth, and support to your life. These are the people who uplift your spirit, encourage your dreams, laugh with you in times of joy, and stand by your side in moments of difficulty. They don't drain your energy, they recharge it. They don't complicate your life. They simplify it with their unwavering love and support. Think of the people who bring you joy just by their presence. These are the ones who greet you with open arms, who listen without judgment, and who make you feel seen, valued, and understood. Their love is unconditional, and their support is steadfast. These are the people who celebrate your victories and offer gentle encouragement when you falter. Surrounding yourself with individuals like this creates an environment where you can thrive, even as life's challenges inevitably arise. On the other hand, consider those who do the opposite. These are the individuals who cast a shadow over every conversation, who make you feel small, inadequate, or burdened by their emotional baggage. They drain your energy with their constant complaints, their negativity, and their inability to see the beauty in life's little moments. You may have tolerated their presence for years, perhaps out of a sense of loyalty or because the idea of severing ties felt too painful. But now, in the later years of life, it's time to ask yourself, is this truly how I want to spend my remaining years? Am I willing to sacrifice my peace and my happiness for the sake of maintaining a toxic relationship? Cutting ties with toxic people is not an easy task. It requires courage, resilience, and the recognition that you deserve better. It may feel uncomfortable, even painful, to let go of long-standing relationships, especially those that are tied to your past. But in freeing yourself from these toxic bonds, you are not just choosing to walk away from negativity. You are choosing to step into a life of greater peace, fulfillment, and emotional freedom. Letting go of toxic people is, at its core, an act of self-love. It is about prioritizing your well-being and happiness above all else. It is about reclaiming your right to live a life that is filled with joy, tranquility, and positive connections. You are worthy of relationships that nourish your soul, that make you feel seen, cherished, and valued. In your later years, you have earned the right to be surrounded by love, not by conflict. You have earned the right to experience peace, not turmoil. So, as you reflect on the relationships in your life, remember this. You do not owe anyone your time, your energy, or your emotional labor if they are not reciprocating with love and positivity. Your peace of mind should never be compromised for the sake of keeping someone in your life who does not add to it. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your presence, who honor your boundaries, and who make your life richer with their love and kindness. And if that means walking away from those who do not, then walk away with your head held high, knowing that you are choosing yourself, your happiness, and your inner peace. In the end, your happiness is not a luxury. It is a necessity. And your peace of mind is not something to be bargained with. It is a gift you must protect, cherish, and prioritize, especially in the later stages of life. Let go of the toxic relationships that weigh you down and embrace the freedom that comes with choosing love, positivity, and self-respect. This is your time to live fully, to love deeply, and to find the peace that you truly deserve. 2. Free yourself from grudges and resentments. The weight of the past can be one of the heaviest burdens we carry in life. It clings to us like a shadow, always lurking in the corners of our minds, and in our later years, it can seem to loom even larger, casting a long shadow over our present. How often have you found yourself replaying old arguments in your mind, wondering what you could have said differently or imagining how things might have turned out had you made a different choice. These thoughts, although natural, can become a prison if we dwell on them too long. Regret, resentment, and grudges can feel overwhelming, especially as time passes, and they hold us back from living fully in the present moment. Grudges, much like invisible chains, bind us to pain from the past, keeping us stuck in a cycle of hurt, anger, and frustration. The sad irony is that holding on to these grudges often does not affect the person who wronged us. They go on with their lives, perhaps oblivious to the turmoil we feel. Meanwhile, we carry the emotional weight alone, trapped in a mental loop of what-ifs and unhealed wounds. This emotional baggage doesn't just affect your mind. It seeps into your body, weighing you down in ways you might not even realize. Numerous studies have shown that harboring long-term resentment and unresolved anger can lead to physical ailments like high blood pressure, chronic insomnia, digestive issues, and even heart disease. These unresolved emotions become toxins, silently eroding your health and well-being. The truth is, by clinging to grudges, you are not punishing the person who hurt you. You are punishing yourself. You're allowing them to continue having power over your emotions and your peace of mind long after the original event. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to suffer. The pain you feel becomes your burden to bear, and over time, it robs you of your ability to enjoy life's simplest pleasures. Every time you replay an old hurt in your mind, you allow that moment to steal a little more joy from your present. Forgiveness, though, is the key to breaking free from these emotional chains. And it's important to understand that forgiveness isn't about condoning what happened or pretending it didn't hurt. It's about releasing yourself from the grip that past pain has over your heart. Forgiveness is a deeply personal, often difficult journey, but it's a gift you give yourself. When you forgive, you're not letting the other person off the hook. You're releasing yourself from the bitterness, anger, and pain that have been holding you back. You're choosing to reclaim your emotional freedom, to let go of the toxic emotions that no longer serve you, and to make space for healing, peace, and new possibilities. It's important to acknowledge that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. The past may always linger in your memory, but it no longer has to control your present or dictate your future. You can remember the lessons you've learned, while still freeing yourself from the emotional burden that comes with them. By letting go of resentment, you're making room in your heart for joy, gratitude, and new, meaningful experiences. You're allowing yourself to focus on what truly matters, the here and now. Living fully in the present becomes possible only when we stop clinging to the past. It's easy to get caught up in thoughts of what could have been, but dwelling in that space keeps you from appreciating all the beautiful moments unfolding around you today. Life still has so much to offer, no matter your age. Each new day is a chance to create new memories, experience love, joy, and laughter, and savor the simple pleasures of life. The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of laughter, and the comfort of a quiet evening. These moments are the ones that truly matter, and they can only be appreciated when we let go of the bitterness that keeps us stuck in the past. As you free yourself from grudges and resentments, you begin to see the world with fresh eyes. You start to realize that there is still so much beauty, wonder, and love to be experienced. You no longer carry the heavy burden of unresolved anger and hurt, and you find yourself lighter and more open to life's possibilities. You begin to understand that the past cannot be changed, but the future, no matter how much of it remains, is still yours to shape. You are in control of how you spend your remaining days, and by letting go of what once held you down, you are free to live those days with a sense of peace and fulfillment. Forgiveness is not a one-time act. It's an ongoing process, a commitment you make to yourself to prioritize your well-being over past hurts. It takes strength, but it also brings immense rewards. As you release grudges, you will notice a shift in your emotional landscape. Your heart feels lighter, your mind clearer, and your spirit more at peace. You become more present in your life, more capable of experiencing the joy and love that is available to you right now. And isn't that what life is truly about? So, take a deep breath and choose to let go. Forgive for the sake of your peace. Release yourself from the invisible chains of resentment and step into the present with a heart open to new possibilities. The past is behind you, unchangeable and complete, but the present is still unfolding before you. Embrace it, live in it fully, and let the burden of the past fall away so you can move forward with grace, joy, and the deep sense of peace that comes from truly letting go. 3. Fear of change. The fear of change is an ever-present companion that we all encounter at various stages in our lives. When we are young, the world constantly pushes us to evolve, adapt, and embrace the unfamiliar. We learn new things, meet new people, and face fresh challenges with the resilience and excitement of youth. But as the years go by, something shifts within us. We become more attached to the familiar, more resistant to the idea of stepping outside our carefully crafted comfort zones. The routines and habits we once embraced for stability start to feel like barriers, shielding us from the unknown, but also locking us into a life that, while safe, may not fully satisfy the depths of our potential for happiness and growth. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. There's an illusion of security and routine, a sense of control that, although comforting, can ultimately limit our ability to experience life in all its fullness. But the undeniable truth is this: life continues to offer new opportunities, no matter how old we are. The world keeps moving, changing, and evolving, and we can either shrink back in fear or step forward with courage. Change can be unsettling, yes, but it can also be invigorating, offering us a chance to rediscover parts of ourselves that have long been dormant. Perhaps now is the perfect time to confront that fear of change. Maybe you've always wanted to learn a new skill, whether it's painting, playing an instrument, or even learning a new language. Or perhaps there's a place you've always dreamed of visiting, a distant land that has beckoned to you in daydreams and memories. It could be that adopting new habits, such as engaging in regular exercise or exploring mindfulness practices, could drastically improve your quality of life. These are not merely things reserved for the young. They are invitations that life extends to us at every stage, including old age. The fear of change is often rooted in the fear of the unknown. As we age, we become acutely aware of the passing of time, and the prospect of stepping into unfamiliar territory can seem overwhelming. What if we fail? What if we don't enjoy it? What if it disrupts the comfort we've worked so hard to create? These are questions that naturally arise. But what if, instead of focusing on what could go wrong, we chose to focus on what could go right? What if, by opening yourself up to new experiences, you discover that there is still so much left to feel, learn, and live? Old age does not have to be a time of stagnation. On the contrary, it can be a time of profound discovery, a period where you finally have the freedom to explore interests and passions you may have set aside during your younger years. You have the wisdom, the experience, and the perspective that comes with age, tools that can help you navigate new challenges with grace and insight. Whether it's learning to use new technology, fostering new friendships, or finally pursuing a hobby you've always been curious about, embracing change in your later years can lead to a renewed sense of purpose and joy. Allowing change into your life is not just about expanding your horizons. It's also about staying mentally sharp and emotionally connected. Studies have shown that those who remain open to new experiences and actively seek out opportunities to learn and grow tend to be happier and more fulfilled in their later years. Engaging with the unknown keeps the mind active and the heart young. It fosters curiosity, wonder, and a deeper connection with the world around you. Instead of fearing the unfamiliar, consider it an invitation to see the world through fresh eyes, to reignite that spark of adventure that may have dimmed over the years. Yes, change can be challenging. It can disrupt the rhythm of your days, introduce new complications, and force you to confront aspects of yourself you may have avoided. But it can also be a gateway to new joys, to moments of surprise and delight that remind you of the richness of life. By setting aside the fear, by taking that first brave step into the unknown, you open yourself up to experiences that can invigorate your spirit and fill your heart with a renewed sense of wonder. Living authentically, living without fear of change, means embracing the truth that life is not static. It is ever-evolving, and so are we. The best stories, the ones that truly define who we are, often emerge from moments of bravery, from times when we dared to step beyond the familiar and trust in the adventure that awaited. And the beautiful thing about life is that it's never too late to create these stories. The chapters of your life are still being written, and some of the most beautiful moments may be yet to come. So, allow yourself the freedom to embrace change, to look at the unknown not as something to be feared, but as an opportunity to grow, to experience, and to live more deeply. Let go of the notion that you're too old to try something new, or that your best days are behind you. They are not. Each day brings a chance to create new memories, form new relationships, and discover parts of yourself that you never knew existed. And while the road may be uncertain, it is also full of promise. In the end, the fear of change is not about the change itself. It's about the stories we tell ourselves about what that change might bring. But here's the truth. The unknown is where life happens. It's where we find our greatest joys, our deepest connections, and our most profound experiences. By choosing to let go of the fear, by stepping into the flow of life's endless changes, you are choosing to live more fully, more authentically. You are choosing to trust in the beauty of the journey. And in doing so, you will discover that the best stories are not behind you. They are still ahead, waiting to unfold. For excessive responsibilities, for much of our lives, we define ourselves by the roles we play and the responsibilities we assume. We care for our families, maintain our homes, nurture our careers, and offer our time and energy to those who depend on us. These responsibilities often become intertwined with our sense of purpose and identity. We perform these roles with love, dedication, and at times, immense pride. However, as the years accumulate, it becomes vital to recognize that not all of these responsibilities still belong to us. There comes a point when it's essential to step back and acknowledge our limitations, to allow ourselves the freedom to rest without guilt or the constant pull of obligations. As we grow older, the weight of excessive responsibilities can begin to feel heavier than ever. The energy that once allowed us to juggle multiple tasks and care for so many others begins to wane. And yet, many of us continue to say yes to every request, every demand on our time, every burden placed on our shoulders. We do this out of habit, perhaps out of a sense of duty, or maybe even fear that if we let go, if we stop carrying these responsibilities, we will lose our sense of purpose. But this mindset, while understandable, can become a trap, preventing us from embracing the peace and serenity that should define our later years. The truth is, by continuing to shoulder an excess of responsibilities, we may inadvertently rob ourselves of the joy and tranquility that this stage of life can offer. Stress doesn't only come from external pressures. It can also stem from within, from the belief that we must still do it all. But now is the time to release yourself from this self-imposed burden. You have spent decades caring for others, fulfilling obligations, and upholding expectations. Now, it's time to allow yourself the gift of letting go, trusting that the world will continue to turn even if you are no longer at the helm of every task. Letting go of excess responsibilities does not mean abdicating your importance or your role in the lives of those you love. Rather, it means recognizing that you have already done so much and that it's perfectly okay to delegate tasks and trust that others can take on roles that once belonged to you. It's a sign of wisdom to know when to step back, to give space for others to grow into responsibilities that may have once been yours. And in doing so, you create the space for yourself to enjoy the lighter, calmer, and more peaceful moments that life still has to offer. Think of all the times you felt stretched too thin, moments when your to-do list seemed never-ending, and your energy was depleted. Now, imagine a different reality, a reality where you no longer feel the need to say yes to everything, a life where you can wake up and decide how to spend your day without the weight of obligations pulling you in every direction. Imagine days filled with leisure, where you can finally indulge in activities that bring you joy, Whether that's reading a book that has been sitting on your shelf for years, taking a trip to a place you've always dreamed of visiting, or simply enjoying the quiet pleasure of a slow morning with a cup of coffee, savoring the present moment. By reducing responsibilities, you allow yourself the freedom to live life on your terms. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your peace of mind. And this shift is not only a gift to yourself, but to those around you as well. When you are less stressed and more at ease, you can be more present in your relationships. You can offer the people you care about your full attention, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to connect and share meaningful moments. It's also important to remember that by letting go of certain responsibilities, you are allowing others to step up. Delegating tasks is not a sign of weakness. It's an act of trust. Whether it's asking a family member to take over some household duties or allowing a colleague to handle a project you would normally oversee, you are empowering those around you to grow and take on new roles. You've spent your life leading by example, and now it's time to allow others to carry the torch. There is a profound freedom in recognizing that you no longer have to carry the world on your shoulders. You have done your part, and you have done it well. Now is the time to care for yourself with the same dedication and love that you've given to others. This phase of life is not about stepping back into irrelevance. It's about stepping into a new chapter, one where you prioritize your well-being and happiness. You've earned the right to rest, to reflect, and to savor the simple pleasures of life. As you release the weight of excessive responsibilities, you open yourself up to the possibility of a richer, more fulfilling life. One where your days are filled with moments that nourish your soul and bring a smile to your face. You no longer have to be the caretaker of everyone else's needs. You can be the caretaker of your peace. And in doing so, you create a space of calm where joy, relaxation, and contentment can thrive. So, take a deep breath and embrace the freedom that comes with letting go. Delegate what no longer serves you. Trust that others can rise to the occasion, and allow yourself to fully enjoy the years ahead. These are the years meant for you, to rest, to reflect, and to cherish the life you've built, not through endless responsibilities, but through moments of joy, connection, and self-care. You've earned this time. Now, it's time to embrace it. 5. Dependence on sex and masturbation. Sexuality is an intrinsic and natural part of the human experience, and its importance persists throughout every stage of life, including old age. It is a source of connection, pleasure, and intimacy that can greatly enhance one's sense of well-being. However, as with any aspect of life, balance is key, especially in later years when our physical, emotional, and psychological needs may evolve. The desire for intimacy and sexual fulfillment remains. But when sex or masturbation becomes an overwhelming focus or a form of dependency, it can bring with it an undercurrent of anxiety, frustration, and discontent. Rather than enhancing life, an over-reliance on sexual activity can lead to emotional emptiness and strain, affecting both the mind and body. In older age, the pursuit of sexual gratification can sometimes become entangled with unrealistic expectations or attempts to compensate for other areas of life that may feel lacking. Whether it's the result of loneliness, boredom, or unresolved emotional needs, an excessive focus on sex or self-pleasure can easily tip the balance from a healthy, enjoyable pursuit to one that creates more dissatisfaction than fulfillment. The sense of fleeting pleasure that comes from sexual release can become addictive, creating a cycle where the temporary high becomes less satisfying over time. This dependency may distract from deeper emotional needs that remain unfulfilled, like genuine affection, companionship, and emotional closeness with another person. Sexual dependence, when unchecked, can affect the quality of life in significant ways. It may lead to feelings of isolation, frustration, or emotional disconnection, as the pursuit of physical gratification begins to overshadow the more enduring joys of emotional intimacy and companionship. While sex and masturbation are natural outlets for pleasure, relying too heavily on these physical acts may prevent us from exploring other, equally rewarding dimensions of human connection. The immediate, physical satisfaction may not address the deeper longing for affection, tenderness, and emotional security that often become more prominent as we age. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Finding a healthy balance in this aspect of life means reevaluating the role that sex and self-pleasure play, particularly in light of the changing priorities that come with aging. It's about recognizing that while sex can and should continue to be a source of joy, it is not the sole pathway to fulfillment. Old age offers an opportunity to explore new ways of experiencing intimacy that may not center on the physical act of sex, but instead on the emotional, mental, and spiritual aspects of human connection. Intimacy can take many forms. Touching hands during a conversation, sharing deep and meaningful dialogue, or simply enjoying the presence of another person who cares for you. These kinds of connections can bring a lasting sense of contentment that transcends the fleeting pleasure of physical release. Sexuality in old age should not be suppressed, but rather approached with mindfulness and balance. It is about shifting the focus from simply achieving physical satisfaction to embracing a more holistic view of intimacy, one that incorporates affection, companionship, and emotional warmth. By embracing these different forms of closeness, you can find greater fulfillment that nourishes the heart and soul as well as the body. Physical pleasure becomes part of a broader tapestry of connection rather than the sole focus. The journey toward balance also involves understanding that dependency on any one source of pleasure, be it sex, masturbation, or anything else, can prevent us from experiencing the rich variety of joys life has to offer. It's not about eliminating sex or sexual desire, but rather learning to integrate it into a more complete, emotionally satisfying life. Instead of seeking fulfillment in the intensity of physical pleasure alone, allow yourself to rediscover the quieter joys of affection, trust, and closeness. Enjoy the pleasure of companionship, the feeling of being truly known and cared for, and the deep sense of belonging that comes from human connection. In this phase of life, you have the wisdom and experience to appreciate intimacy on a deeper level. By focusing on the emotional and relational aspects of your connections with others, you'll find that the satisfaction you experience is not only more enduring, but also more profound. When physical pleasure is balanced with emotional intimacy, it can enhance your overall well-being, leading to a life filled with peace, harmony, and genuine contentment. Old age is not a time of loss. It is a time of rediscovery. It's an opportunity to explore new dimensions of yourself, to deepen your relationships, and to redefine what intimacy means to you. By stepping away from a dependency on sex or masturbation as the primary source of pleasure, you open the door to a broader, richer experience of life. You may find that the emotional connections you build in this phase are more rewarding than ever before, bringing you a sense of peace and satisfaction that lasts far beyond the momentary highs of physical release. Ultimately, by striking a balance between physical desire and emotional fulfillment, you free yourself from the cycle of dissatisfaction and allow space for true contentment to flourish. Rediscover the joys of companionship, kindness, and human connection, and you'll realize that the deepest, most lasting pleasures come not from the body alone, but from the heart. In this way, you can live fully and authentically, enjoying both the physical and emotional richness that life has to offer, without the weight of dependency or the frustration of unmet expectations. As we reflect on everything we've discussed today, whether it's freeing yourself from toxic relationships, releasing the heavy weight of grudges, embracing change with courage, lightening the burden of excessive responsibilities, or finding balance in your intimate life, the message remains the same. It's never too late to prioritize your well-being and live life with peace, purpose, and joy. Now, we want to hear from you. What have you learned from these reflections? Is there one particular insight that resonated with you the most? We encourage you to comment below on what you've learned and how you plan to bring it into practice in your own life. If you liked this video, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your engagement helps us continue creating content that inspires and uplifts us, and we can't wait to see you in the next video.